Hello everyone, Namaste. Today in this video, I'll be talking about the language of manipulation. Well, there are certain keywords that you need to look out for if you want to know whether you are being manipulated. Number one, you are a good human being or you are a good person. Well, the problem with this label of being a good human being or a good person is that often you're expected to fulfill unreasonable expectations and unreasonable demands from people, and a lot of selfish favors that people expect you to fulfill. Now, if you happen to think for yourself or about your priorities and say a no, then you're no longer a good human being. So, does that mean that you should not be a good person? Well, you should be a good person, but do not spend your time and energy trying to prove it to someone, especially when you sense some sort of manipulation or exploitation coming your way. Number two, if you really loved me, then you would do this, or if you really loved me, then you wouldn't do this. Well, these statements are very commonly used amongst parents and children, amongst friends, amongst partners. Well, the problem with this is that in a way we are hinting to the other person that we're kind of binding the person in a way where if they don't fulfill our expectations, then they are no longer loved by us, which is very subtle form of manipulation. And often most of us are guilty quite unconsciously of using these statements. But if you really love someone, then you should let the person do what gives them happiness and what is right for them, and not expect that the other person should do everything as per your will. This is very conditional love. And it's also sort of manipulation where you're trying to control the other person into doing things your way. Number three, look at XYZ, they're doing so much. Why can't you do the same? Well, first of all, we need to understand that every person is very unique with his own strengths, weaknesses, his own personal characteristics, his own personality, his own likes, dislikes, his own mental capacity, his own emotional capacity. So, to expect that every person can do what someone else is doing is quite unfair, and it's putting the other person in a position where he feels guilty for not having met your expectations. But this is a very subtle form of manipulation, and you need to be aware and not give in to the pressure of this statement. Number four, I did so much for you and you do nothing, or I do so much for you, can't you do this much for me? Well, again, we need to understand that when we do something for someone, we do it because we want to do it at the time. Number two, because it's our nature. Number three, because it gives us happiness or peace or whatever it is. And number four, it's something that we believe is the way we can demonstrate our love or care or concern towards someone. But then to expect that the other person meets us at the same level is quite unfair. Now, does that mean that we should engage in exchanges with people where the other person is constantly taking, or leeching off us, and we are constantly giving? No. But all I'm trying to say is, when we're doing something, first of all, we need to be aware that we're doing it because we want to do it and not because we're doing it for someone else. And even if we're doing it for someone else, then we need to let it be at that and think of it as a demonstration of our love, rather than expecting that the other person will also go out of their way. Possibly they don't have that capacity, or it's not their nature, or it's they don't have the ability or the time or um, the willingness, in fact, to do the same things. So these are the four things that you need to watch out for, the four statements that are commonly used to put you in a state of, to put you in a spot rather. So anyways, thank you guys. Namaste.